Hello and welcome back to Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Where last time, let me tell you what happened last time. We freaking got exactly what we want. Well, maybe not exactly what we wanted, but our dream finally came true. No more Professor Layton. Yes! We did a bunch of crap. We talked to her spell, we learned her secret, we visited the storyteller, but then, as the grand finale to the last episode, Layton got turned into a statue of gold. Yes, and yes, I saw the comment saying, oh, come on, it's not gonna be, you know he's not gonna be like that the whole time. Sorry to burst your bubble. Like, yes, I'm well aware that he's not gonna stay like that the whole game. Obviously, he's not gonna stay like that the whole game. But for whatever length of time he remains a golden statue, we will cherish that time, because good God, I am so sick of everybody in this game being like, haha, Layton, aren't you just such a perfect human being there, Layton? You're so good at everything. Phoenix over here, on the other hand, Phoenix can't do anything by himself. Well, guess what, Layton? You're not around to hold our hand this time. And furthermore, Luke was a witness to this crime. Witness to the fact that he was turned into a golden statue, which means he's probably going to be a witness in this case. And you know what that means? It means that neither Luke nor Layton can be at the defense bench with us to hold our hand the whole way through. I call this a victory. This is what we call a win right here, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't make sense. How's it come to this? The darned witch, why did it have to happen to the professor of all people? Because the professor sucks. Next question. You gotta believe me, Nick. I may be speed reading when I'm no witch. Oh, okay, she's gonna be, okay. So she's gonna be the defendant this time. You know what, ordinarily I'd be annoyed by that. I'd be really annoyed by that because, like, I would have liked to see Phoenix and Maya's, you know, chemistry in action and actually have them work together to solve the case. But you know what, if it means no more Layton, I will take it. It's a small price to pay for salvation. Don't worry, I know it wasn't you. Say, have you seen Luke today? I haven't seen him since last night. He was crying a lot, I didn't know what to say to him. No kidding, he's the one suffering the most from all this, poor kid. I don't care. He probably needs some time alone with his grief. We should leave him be. Yeah, he shouldn't have to see this trial. It's be too hard for him. I'm guessing he's gonna be a witness. Hello, Spella. For once, you're not the defendant. Oh, it's Spella. What are you doing here, Spella? Have you been cleared of the accusations? No, not yet. Whoa, it's so easy. It's just that I'm not technically under arrest, so I got special permission to come here. I'm free to go wherever I like within this building. Ah, I see. I heard about Mr. Layton. It's awful. He was such a good man. Yeah, he was too good he was too good at everything. I'm sorry, Spella. Huh? What are you apologizing for? We were supposed to find clues connected to Bezella, but we couldn't find anything, and now the professor's been... No, don't say that. It's not your fault. I don't believe a word of what they say about Maya. She isn't a witch. Thank you, Spella. Mr. Wright, do you mind if I sit you in court? Okay, trading Maya for Spella, that was not part of the deal, but again, it means no more, it means Layton isn't gonna be there to hold our hand, a small price to pay for salvation, huh? I know I might be of much use. Obviously the ideal situation would be Luke is gone, Layton's gone, it's just Phoenix and Maya, they can do their thing, and no one else can interfere with them. Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world, so we're not gonna get that reality. We're gonna get the reality in which Spella takes the place of Maya, which... Okay, fine. But I'll do what I can. I want to help you and Maya. Spella. Oh. Hi there. You're... Grail, butler of the late Master Belduke. I've come to inquire after Miss Maya. It's most regrettable what happened yesterday. Oh, thank you for coming all the way here. Huh? You look really pale, Jean. Are you alright? Oh, please don't worry about me. It's merely that since the instant sleep has eluded me. Oh! I spent the night searching through Master Notes on alchemy. I hope there may be some mention of a method by which something turned to gold may be reverted back to its original form. Hopefully not. You were looking for a way to rescue the professor? Human fate is awful and cruel, but that's also why we must never lose hope. Jean! Defend our accused. The trial is about to start. Proceed to the chamber. Yes, we're coming. Nick! Cheer up, Maya. I'm not just gonna let them sentence you. I just wish all this would stop already. Whether someone's a witch or not, no one deserves to be burned. I know, I can't stand for it either. If you'll kindly excuse me now, I must return to my duties. Ah, no problem, not suspicious at all. We appreciate you coming to see us, Mr. Not Suspicious at all. Something's bothering me. Jean seems somewhat odd today. Let's go, Mr. Wright, the trial's about to begin. Alright, here we go. I've heard a lot of great things about this trial. I've heard that this is like the best trial in the game.
The trial of Maya Fey shall now begin, as scheduled.
So, my hopes, my expectations are like through the roof.
Knights of the court, are you ready to cross your swords of justice?
Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum always has his sword ready for the work of justice.
Defense ready, Your Honor. At this stage, I've just got to give it all I've got.
It would appear the defender has thrown down the gauntlet, Sir Barnum. Now, before we begin, may I have a word with you, defender?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last time we met, you stood in this court as an apprentice baker. In all honesty, when I saw you for the first time, I thought to myself, a baker should stick to bread baking.
Is that so? What a fine first impression I made.
However, today you are not merely some befuddled maker of sweet buns. I'm obliged to fully recognize you as a knight of law and justice, on par with Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum. Now may your duel begin. Fight bravely and expose the truth behind this heinous crime.
All right! We're all counting on you, Inquisitor Barnum!
I knew she was a witch as soon as I laid my eyes on her. She's got witch written all over her.
You know, honestly, I had suspected that Maya would be accused of being a witch at some point. One, because it's an Ace Attorney game, and two, because she's a spirit medium. I figured that would... she would have to use those abilities at some point, and then that would lead people to think, oh no, she's a witch. But I did not expect it to be this soon. I'll say that much.
Why not put the baker on trial? Bake the baker, I say!
Hey, remember what happened last time?
They treat him like some sort of celebrity.
Your cheers are misplaced, friends.
He may be adored by the crowds, but when he pointed his sword my way, you managed to shield me from his accusations.
Yeah, but everyone forgot about that, apparently.
Maya clearly isn't a witch, so surely your victory is certain.
Thank you for believing in me, Espella.
Espella Cantabella. I have given you leave to come to this trial today. However, that does not mean that the charges against you have been dropped. Rather than worry about others, you should consider your own situation.
Thank you for granting me your permission, Inquisitor.
Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement. As you wish, my lord. As usual, let us commence this trial by first recounting the events. If it pleases you, Sir Blue Knight. As you wish, your Inquisitor. I still can't get used to this terminology. This heinous crime occurred in the residence of the late Newton Belduke the Alchemist. Here is the sketch plan of his residence. This room of somewhat questionable nature is the alchemist's study in which the incident took place. The only ones present at the moment of the crime were the accused and the victim, no one else. I mean, I'm guessing that the butler was probably somewhere in that vicinity. The witnesses who arrived at the scene seconds later have indicated where they found the accused and the victim. Very well, the sketch is accepted as evidence. The accused took Sir Layton's life with the most cruel of magic. A living man on one second, a golden statue the next, such wickedness. Magic that turns into gold? Sure, why not? Several townspeople rushed to the room and paid witness to the horror of this magic. The accused has been captured and charged. Goodness, that is terrifying. Rumors have reached me that the victim was a most scintillating man. I'm not quite certain whether it was prior to or after. But incidentally, was this Sir Layton not the same hat maker who attended our previous trial? No, he wasn't a hat maker. Bizarre as it is. Sir Layton's profession and origin remain unknown. He was a stranger in the city, that is all we know. And you, sir, his acquaintance, you are an unusual presence in our city yourself. Today's case certainly is peculiar. And that is not the last of the peculiarities, my lord. The alchemist's study has been the scene of another strange incident in the past. Ah, yes, I remember it as if it were yesterday. The mysterious death of Newton Belduke himself. Indeed, my lord. Regrettably, the only case of witchcraft still to remain unsolved. You keep parroting that around, but it's just not correct. The witch may have escaped the punishment back then. But perhaps today is the day on which both these mysterious crimes shall be solved. What? What are you implying? What do you think he's implying? Patience, you will know soon enough, so suddenly pale Blue Knight. How interesting. It seems the Inquisition has something up their sleeve. Now, Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin. Thank you, my lord. The Inquisition summons the witnesses to this malicious crime of witchcraft. If only I made it to the room sooner. Maybe I could have prevented all this from happening. I won't let Maya take the rap for this. I'll find every single crack in their testimony and prove it wasn't her. And for once, Layton can't be there to hold our hand. Yay! Welcome to the Witches' Court, honorable witnesses. Now let us hear your names and occupations. Oh, great! This man again. Phenomenal.
I am known as far and wide as a mere punching...
A mere punching bag, huh?
Soon to be the new head of Punching Bags Retail Organization Pro.
Hang on!
Wait a minute, witness.
What's that, Blue Squire?
You're that guy from the previous trial. Just what the heck's happened to you? You look like you've been on one of those ultimate makeover shows.
Whatever do you mean? My name is Amir Punching Bag.
Okay. What is the meaning of this, Inquisitor? I do not care to delve into this witness's personal affairs. Looks like he remembers him all too well. Witnesses, pray continue.
Oh, dearie me, it is I who usually ask the questions. I am, you see, but a humble teacher. Just call me Miss Brimstone. The children of Labyrinthia Primary School have the privilege of learning the truths of—
Oh yeah, the privilege, I'm sure. You look like such a nice teacher. An elementary school teacher, huh? Oh god, she's elementary school? Oh god, those poor kids. Oh no, they're gonna be screwed up for life if they have her as a teacher.
The winds carry my song, it's birdly stringing along, parrot and bard, ensemble avant-garde. My faithful muse here is Cracker the musical parrot, and no one understands music like Cracker. Aside from me, naturally.
At least it's not another goat. Well, it wouldn't be the first time we've had a parrot as a witness.
What a smart bird, he just imitated that teacher perfectly.
Yep, that's what I thought.
I'm Luke Trident. Occupation is the professor's apprentice.
Luke? Luke, but why? He was a Are you surprised by this? What do you think? He was a witness to the crime.
I made up my mind. I'm doing this for the professor. A gentleman has to pursue the truth.
But Luke, that's where the Inquisition's witnesses stand.
I'll never forgive that witch.
A gentleman shouldn't glare at people as if he wants to hit them in the face.
Luke,
your friend today can be your enemy tomorrow. Such as the hot— Yeah, I don't care, because once we prove that Maya's innocent, Luke is gonna have no leg to stand on, my friend. You don't get to say, "Oh my god, the professor is so clever," ever again. Witnesses, we will now hear your testimonies. There's all this wicked incident, which you have been unfortunate enough to witness. Okay, witness testimony. Here we go. What we witness.
I heard a scream and an incantation, and then when I entered the room, the victim was already all
Shiny, like a treasure from a sunken pirate wreck.
Mayhaps something's caused discord between us erstwhile friends. Mr. Silker had a knife at the ready in his hand.
He did? I don't think I've ever seen Layton carry a knife.
The professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there face to face.
Okay. I see, thank you all. However, one part of the testimony was somewhat confusing. You there, the singer.
Singer? Could you possibly mean me, Birdie the Bard, Your Excellence?
Yes, that would be you, singer. The staff that you sung about. It is as you suspect, my lord. This very witch's scepter, with 2 new magical spells to learn.
There are 2 different magic gems attached, meaning the perpetrator could have used 2 types of magic.
Yeah, it would seem so. This gem here enables the use of a gold transmutation spell, Goldor. Lovely. Goldor, just the word alone makes the tiny hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
Ha ha ha, that's the one, alright. That's the dreadful incantation that I, Amir Punching Bag, also heard.
Oh, great! Because you've already proven yourself to be so reliable when it comes to hearing things correctly.
Oh, dearie me, I assume that scepter, so I have. Clank, tips over the golden man, the scepter falls, not the witch's plan.
How many singing bards do we need in this town?
Oh, dearie me, squawk! How dare you do that to the professor?
By the way, the witch's scepter was found on the floor near the victim. If you'll turn your attention to the sketch plans, it was located right here. A scepter dropped by the accused would naturally tumble to exactly that spot. It would tumble that far away, and face in that direction. Really? Inquisitor Barner, what you're saying amounts to nothing more than a baseless assumption. Well, also, if we test that, I doubt it would roll in that same spot. You're on edge today, Sir Blue Knight. Is it because your friend is on trial? Perhaps you better cool yourself down. I am cool, and I'm telling you with confidence that if you drop that scepter from where Maya was standing, it not only would not roll to that position, it would not land in facing that direction. Well, anyway, the court accepts the scepter as evidence. Thank you, my lord. Okay. Transmutes the caster's target into solid gold. The spell will transmute the closest target within range. Inquisitor Barnum, may I ask you something? What is it now, Sir Blue Knight? We know that one of the gems is for the spell Golder, but what about the other one? A naive question, huh? Naivety may be no hindrance to— I don't care, just tell me what it is. He's telling me to do my homework, huh? Mr. Wright, I'll look for the information about the magic gem in the Grand Grimoire. Thank you, Spell, that'd be great. Just leave it to me. She seems very happy to help. The defender may interrogate the witness. Okay, well, first things first. I don't think— I can't even imagine Layton freaking, holding a knife in his hand.
Hold it!
Are you saying you think they quarreled? The other day, I saw you all together in this very court, and you were evidently friends. Well, yeah, that's true, but what's that got to do with— Now everyone, listen carefully. No chatting in the back row. What I say now will be in the next exam. Hold on. I'm paying attention. Miss Primstone's lesson number 5. Friendship leads to nothing but trouble. People will not— Oh, I'm sure you're a lovely teacher. People will not break up and part their ways in anger if they did not become friends in the first place. That's— The kids in her class must grow up to be model citizens. Oh, dear me, what I saw in that room curdled the blood in my veins. Specifics, my friend. Mr. Takumi was pointing that clearly not ever said— Oh, wait, who? Wait. Hey, Luke!
Hang on!
See something? Is everything okay, Luke? No, of course it's not okay. The professor was a true gentleman. A true gentleman would go around threatening people with knives. Just as I suspected. I couldn't agree more.
Silly boy, I saw your professor pointing a knife. Are you insinuating I'm a liar, you cheeky little whippersnapper?
The professor would never do that. You don't know him. Oh, really? Well, and you don't know Maya, Luke. At least Luke's found someone else to antagonize. Mr. Wright? What is it? I think there was some important information in Mrs. Primstone's testimony. Really? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not my place to say things like that. I didn't know something. What could that be? What's the spell about to say? Ask the spell to— Yeah, obviously you ask her to speak out. Spell, why don't you tell us tell us all what you noticed? Oh, is that okay? It's just something I'd like to ask Miss Primstone about. Well, let's go ahead and ask her. Excuse me, Miss Primstone. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, it's you, Mr. Spiller Cantabella. I remember you from school. Miss Primstone, did you actually see the knife that Mr. Layton was holding? I did, as a matter of fact. Yes, I remember that cleansing blade very well. A most frightening sight it was, too. And you saw that from the door, didn't you? Now, if we look at the sketch, when the incident took place, Mr. Layton must have been facing this way, correct? That must have been the case, otherwise the witness would not have been able to see it. Well, that's all I wanted to ask. The more information we have, the better, right? The direction was the professor was facing, that could be important. Yeah, it contradicts the thing. It contradicts the thing where they said that he was facing her face to face. The originals are added to the court record. I mean, I was not— Sorry, something like that, but I really wanted to help. Not at all, Speller. We were able to get some more info, which may just come in handy. You think so? Yeah, I mean, we didn't know where she saw the knife from, so we wouldn't have had any way to know that until she spoke up, which is— Okay, fine. Which one of you said it? It wasn't you. Which one of you said— Oh wait, Luke's the one who said it, right? Yeah, Luke said it, okay. So you're just wrong. You're just verifiably incorrect.
Objection!
Luke, you said that you will only believe what you see with your own eyes. But what you think you saw may not be the whole truth. Huh? What do you mean? Take a close look at the sketch of the crime scene. At the time of the incident, Professor Layton and Meyer were standing here. Now, if we have learned from Miss Primstone's testimony which way the professor was facing. He was facing this way. Oh! You have testified that the professor confronted Meyer, which, by the way, that doesn't exactly track, because even if Layton was facing to the left, like actually facing Maya, they still would have been able to see that knife from the door, so that doesn't really track well as a contradiction, but okay, fine. But looking at the sketch of where they were standing, one thing is clear. There is a contradiction in your testimony. Yeah, but it's a pretty meaningless one, because there's no reason that she wouldn't have been able to see it if he was facing Maya. Whether facing each other or not is of no relevance whatsoever. They were the only ones in that room. One was a victim, but thus the other must be the witch.
Objection!
I will ask you to wait before jumping to conclusions, Inquisitor. Think back to Miss Primstone's testimony. She told us that the professor was pointing a knife at someone threateningly. However, you can see in the sketch that he wasn't threatening Maya. So then, who was he pointing the knife at?
Hold it!
Luke, what is it? The professor would never point a knife at anyone. I was the one who opened the door to that room, so I was the first witness and I saw no knife. Miss Primstone's testimony is not reliable. Oh, great. Now we have... Okay, what is this? I don't even see the same thing. Oh, lovely. Oh, dear me, would you look at this child sputtering nonsense and talking boldly out of his elders? Mr. Bonham? Yes, my lord? It should pose a difficulty to verify whether or not the victim had a knife. After all, that sparkling golden body piece has been found at the scene of the crime, has it not? Indeed it has, my lord. And why wasn't that presented first? Why wasn't that presented? You know, if you had presented this first, we could have saved a couple steps. Golden Layton. Look at that. Did he get damaged in transit? Professor! Professor! So this is the power of the gold transmutation spell. Most spectacular. Looks like the work of the finest artisans. I assure you it is the work of no artisans, my lord. By the way, the missing arm has not yet been found. Wait, didn't it clamber to the ground when... What? How did you not find... Okay. The poor Professor who, while searching for evidence, became evidence. Yeah, that's all he's useful for in life now, is just being a motionless piece of evidence. This is unfortunate. I thought the evidence would be as good as gold. Ha 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 ha, funny. But although it technically is, we are still no closer to discerning whether or not the victim was holding a knife.
Hold it!
Let me speak, please.
Maya.
The Professor didn't have a knife. Also, there was another person in that room. The real witch was there too, please believe me.
Accused, I really need to warn you again. Inside that cage, you ought to behave like a bird that has forgotten its song. Speak again and you shall be punished. Or are you in particular hurry to taste the flames of justice, little bird?
Objection!
But it's true that someone else could have been at the crime scene. Look at the sketch. The victim was facing towards someone and that person wasn't Maya. Sir Blue Knight, your ignorance is no longer even a surprise, huh? You do not know what transpired at the crime scene. You think this man was pointing at another person, you say? Let me tell you this, nearly everyone in this court other than you knows what Sir Hab was pointing at. What? Well, honorable witnesses, is that not so?
I am your punching bag. Love me some gossiping stories of the occult.
Oh, dearie me, you could use some education, Blue Knight. I can offer you private tuition, but it will not come cheap. If the professor wasn't confronting Maya... Witnesses, you will now testify. Tell us all about this other presence at the crime scene. A shadow at the crime scene.
We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery.
Excuse me. Same place, same magic trick. This time, her luck went out and she dropped the magic scepter. Same place. You know, for a teacher, I would think you'd learn to be a little more precise with your words.
The truth obscured by a twisted ruse. The witch couldn't vanish, but did confuse.
It happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches. None of you told me anything. The same magic trick was used. They are referring to an incident from 3 months ago. Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Belduke the Alchemist. He suffered death by strangulation. Finger marks were left on his neck. He had locked himself in his study and the key was still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room. The perpetrator disappeared from a locked room just like in this case. A large amount of powdered medicine was spilled all over the floor. Powdered medicine? Sir Belduke was an alchemist. He possessed various medicinal concoctions. Due to the presence of that powder, had anyone entered that room, clear footprints would have remained, yet there were none. That's the kind of mystery the professor would have loved to solve. Oh, shut up, Luke. Thus, there were two unnatural circumstances for Sir Belduke's death. The culprit's disappearance from a locked room, and the fact that they appeared to not have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away. In other words, it couldn't have been the demure magic that was used in my case the other day. Seems like the kill levitated above the floor, strangled Belduke, and vanished into thin air. But what does that have to do with this trial? It has been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought before this court. We will have justice. What? No way, now he thinks Maya killed the alchemist too. We weren't even here back then, but it's not like I can explain that to him. Well, it should be easy. Just say, hey, we weren't here. And then it's like, oh yeah, you weren't here. I never saw you there. In fact, I just said about 20 minutes ago that you weren't here. Wow, crazy. Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses, now that you are aware of the connection between the two murders?
Objection!
You can't be serious. 2 months ago we weren't even... Defender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May the testimonies lead us to the truth. Okay, not off to a great start, because the first contradiction was like, hey, you couldn't have seen them because you said he was facing towards the person. It's like, okay, but you still could have seen the knife even if he was facing towards Maya. This doesn't really change much, okay. So, same old magic trick, huh? Please, specifics.
Hold it!
Would you care to elaborate on that, Miss Primstone? I could say I'm a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time. The magic behind this mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere glided through the air and vanished after making the kill?
Indeed, yes. And the witch's scepter confirms my theory.
A brilliant introduction. I am honored to have studied under an excellent teacher such as yourself, Prince Primstone. She was his teacher. Actually, I guess that kind of explains a lot. Our occult criminals analysts have arrived at the same conclusion. Mr. Wright, I found it. The page about the... It took you that long? The spell is called Familia. Familia? What does it do? Spell Familia bound within this purple gem is used to summon a familiar. Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air and vanish when their task is completed. They are evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes. Evil spirits? I've seen that the witch used a familiar to... It was a familiar that took Sir Belduke's life, and now it has appeared again. Sir Stillcat was probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. But what good is a knife against an occult creature? It completed the task given to it by the witch and promptly vanished. So wait, how could you... Okay, so so now your theory is that the shadow figure was standing in front of the doorway and that's what Layton was pointing at, and yet somehow they were still... The people in the doorway were still able to see through this figure to see Layton and Maya? Okay. Let's bring it to the conclusion that... Sir Belduke and Sir Stillcat were both killed by the same witch. What? But if anybody can use this spell, then you have no guarantees that they... Okay. Well, not for turn of events. The two incidents have been shown to be connected. What? It's not... If anybody can use the familiar spell, then why would they be intrinsically linked? If any witch can use it, then it does... the same witch's scepter have been used in both cases. Are the gems not interchangeable? Like, if I wanted, could I take out those two gems and put in two different gems? Is that not how this works? I guess not. Okay. Summons forth a magical familiar from the shadows, although it possesses a physical form, it is completely weightless. Oh, this is terrible. Now Maya's accused of 2 murders.
Oh, dearie me, I was right as always. Oh, you... The screws of murder will be in the next exam. Make sure to take notes. Now I shall divulge what really happened.
We are all ears, Miss Primstone.
I'll have make with more life for the witch's familiar.
Okay, and I don't have evidence to contradict this, but I'm gonna need more information. I don't think with the layout we had that would have been possible for you to see. Did you actually see the familiar?
Oh, dearie me, no I did not. When that boy opened the door, the familiar had just disappeared.
Then how do you know that he... Oh my god, how do you know that they were there?
If you were my student, I would have made sure to teach him not to dilly-dally.
No way!
Oh, Luke?
Hang on!
Something stick out to you? Is everything alright, Luke? You seem to be in deep thought about something.
No, it's not right at all.
Is there something in Miss Primstone's testimony you'd like to comment on?
That's what I keep telling you.
The professor wouldn't point the knife at anyone.
Dearie me, what an impudent child. I'm telling you, I saw a knife. I distinctly saw the glint of a sharp blade.
Objection!
At any rate, as we can see now, the victim's arm is missing. As such, there is no proof that he had a knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail that matters to... His arm is missing. We have no proof that he had a knife. Oh, that's just a minor detail.
Ah, you people. A major matters not!
Oh my, anyhow, I wonder, where could that missing arm be?
Yeah, that ought to be looked into.
Oh, wait, hold on, wait, someone else said something. Punching bag?
Hang on!
Mister, do you have something you'd like to share with us? Mr. Amir.
It's Mr. Amir punching bag to you, Bluey.
Yeah, that's not much better.
The likes of you ought to show some respect to a future man of wealth such as me.
You seem to be looking ahead to a future full of newly gained riches.
I can look wherever I bleedin' please. Anyway, why are you looking at me like that? I don't know about that golden bloke's right arm. Excuse me, Mr. Wright?
What is it, Espella?
I may be wrong, but
There's something about that. Oh, there's a lot of things about that man. When you say he looks, suspicious, it's not just you. Everything about him is so shitty, it makes me want to double check my pockets. Mr. Amir, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm.
Pretending? I told you I know nothing. Nada. 0. Nil. I ain't seen it or heard about it or put it in me pocket.
Put it in your pocket?
It wasn't me, honest. Feels like I got nothing to do with it.
Objection!
What?
Mia! You lying, cheating, good for nothing! You tried to deceive me!
What? A new challenger approaches. Order, who is that person? What? Why is there always a surprise witness that just jumps down from the balcony to join the battle?
You wanna know who I am? I'm Price the pawnbroker. And this man is a shameless cheating bum. He had the nerve to lie to me.
What did he lie to you about?
I'll tell you, on the day of the crime, Mimir came to my shop.
Does the bailiffs not care about this?
He all says to me saying he got his hands on a superb work of art rare as gold dust.
Oh, I think I know where this is going. That work of art, could it be?
I got it right here.
Well, zippity-doo-dah. Just like I thought. That's... oh my. Professor! It's the Professor's arm! Okay.
It's pure gold, exquisitely crafted. It was entitled, Towards Tomorrow or something like that. I'd never seen a piece of gold so fine before, and so suspecting nothing, I paid that rascal a rather handsome sum.
Who would have thought?
And what am I hearing now? That it was a human arm, no less. You, sir, are a monster. You're as bad as a witch's familiar yourself. I didn't know it was his arm, I swear. When I saw it, it was already like that.
What do you mean?
I was last to the scene and caught my eye right away. That golden arm pointing up at the ceiling with such optimism and authority. I thought, it looks like it's showing me the way to a better and brighter, richer tomorrow. To me, it was a work of art, a precious one at that.
And then it found its way into your pocket and you pawned it? You mounted it onto a crude stand, gave it a tawdry title, and passed it off as some kind of sculpture. Don't try and look away from the truth now.
Darn it, I can look wherever I darn please. I'll look away from the facts and forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. That's a mere punching bag's motto.
The mere punching bag. Alright. I do not need a golden statue of Layton by my side. Where were we now? Oh yes, the victim's arm has now been successfully reattached by one of our masterful craftsmen. Knights of the court, you may resume the Inquisition. At least one thing's clear now. As everyone can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife.
Oh, dearie me. Since I may have been mistaken after all.
Oh, what happened to your elders are always right. Oh no, looks like that didn't hold up well.
When you think about it, the victim had already been turned to gold when we entered the room.
According to the witness' testimonies, that was the case, yes.
Well, I'm sure you could see that it was easy to mistake that glittering pointing finger.
No! You don't mistake a finger for a knife?
What? No!
It's a finger!
It passes a match for the power of the Professor's pointing finger.
I guess no one remembers that I'm known for pointing like that too. Yeah, because we're in the Professor Layton universe, and everything's insane in the Professor Layton universe.
I think your pointing finger makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright.
She's just taking pity on me. Is that all you had to say, Sir Blue Knight? You'll notice they'll never make any jokes at Professor Layton's expense. Layton's a god among men, but Phoenix, no, you gotta beat him down at every opportunity. As I said before, whether the victim had a knife or not is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, what he said. You better apologize to me now. Badger me for no reason like that.
Is that all there is to it, or could that arm hold some other clues?
We've come this far. Maybe there's something else you could ask about.
She's right. I need to ask some more questions. Well then, Mr. Amir, perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm. Where was it lying? That's a good question. Where was it lying? Because if we can get a contradiction out of... Because here's the thing. I still don't believe that staff, or the scepter or whatever, could have landed where it did. So if we can get a contradiction out of that, in comparison to where the golden arm fell, that's probably what we're going to be aiming for here. You found the arm on the floor, pointing upwards, you said. Also, yeah, the odds that it would have landed on the solid base of the arm, pointing up toward the sky, no.
Yeah, I did find his keepers, I say. It's pointing straight up at the ceiling.
The arm somehow happened to fall down in such a way that it landed upright. What are the odds of that? Actually, that reminds me of a puzzle. Now, if you could just show us on this floor plan here. I'd like to know the exact spot where you found the victim's arm.
Sure, I remember that well. It was right there.
Yep, and there you go. There's the proof we need. There's the proof that simple basic common sense should have been enough to tell you that there's no way that staff could have landed there, but now we have actual proof because... Okay. My initial thing was, from where Maya was saying there's no way it could possibly have rolled all the way over there, that thing with that shape could have rolled all the way over there, and landed facing that direction. But then you could say, oh, that's logic, and logic doesn't exist in this world. And I'd be like, okay, fine. Then how about we take the fact that, if she only dropped the staff after Layton became a golden statue, then how exactly do you explain... that the golden arm was found there, then how exactly do you explain how it could have possibly rolled to that position? Because it would have had to roll over the arm, but if it was pointing up at the ceiling, which I also don't believe, but let's assume it was pointing up at the ceiling, then it could not possibly have made it to that position without knocking over the freaking golden arm. Yes, that's where you would expect him to have fallen. Now, if that's where it was, then something's definitely not right. If you keep looking at that sketch to intensity, you shall burn a hole in it. Or perhaps you're going to claim there's a contradiction in it somewhere? This arm is the final clue left by the professor. Even after turning to be gold, he was pointing out something important. Namely, the key is no, he wasn't pointing to anything. No. He had no bearing. No, he had no bearing on it whatsoever. Do not give this to Layton of all people. He had no control over this. This clue has nothing to do with him. Of course, there is a problem. And where would that be precisely? The professor's arm has armed me with some vital evidence. Its location leads to a huge contradiction. In that case, why don't you enlighten us and show us the so-called contradiction? With pleasure. It creates a contradiction with the staff. The staff. Right here.
Got it!
The contradiction is right here. And this is the witch's scepter? Let's go over the order of events as per the witness' testimonies. First, the witch cast a spell on the professor, turning him to gold. When all of you rushed to the crime scene, the golden statue fell down, making a loud noise. Next, the witch dropped the scepter. What are you getting at, Sir Blue Knight? All witnesses all agree with this order of events. That's right, they all agree that's how it happened. But then there's the arm. Well, what about it? Spit it out. Let's assume that Maya was the witch. Now look at the sketch again. The witch dropped the scepter after having turned the professor into gold. The scepter tumbled along the floor somehow. I mean, obviously it didn't because we have proof that it didn't happen that way now. And was found here as asserted by the prosecution. However, that would be impossible. There's no way it could have been there. Oh, I see it now. Oh, the arm, it was... I'm glad you seem to have noticed. The victim's arm was on the floor right here, standing on its end. Therefore, the scepter couldn't possibly have fallen that way. Ergo, it couldn't have been the defendant who dropped the scepter. In other words, Maya is not a witch. See? I mean, you shouldn't have believed that it could have landed there in the first place, but now at least we have evidence, like actual hardcore proof for the fact that it couldn't have been there. Again, basic common sense would have been enough, but whatever. How could this be? The Inquisition's reasoning has been proven invalid through just one single piece of unusual evidence. Call it Layton. Oh my god, stop! This is not... Layton had nothing to do with this. He had no control over where his arm fell. Stop giving every goddamn credit to Layton, for God's sake! The professor sacrificed his arm to leave us. He didn't sacrifice anything! He didn't do anything! He was dead! Or not dead, he was incapacitated! Professor!
Objection!
My god, this game can't give him anything. An admirable deduction, Sir Blue Knight, that I cannot deny. Even if we are to assume your reasoning is correct and that girl in the cage is not a witch. Even if. In the many trials I have attended, I have become well versed in certain aspects of magic. I am all too aware of its potential to confuse people, befuddle their minds, and make their memories hazy. No one can resist such a maddening influence. What are you trying to say, Inquisitor? The scepter could not have tumbled across the floor of the armor in its way. However, can we be sure that it's... Okay, oh my god. Even if it wasn't there, there's no way it could have reached that position.
Objection!
We've heard that what they had to say several times. They agreed the scepter fell over after the victim fell over.
Objection!
And yet no one actually saw the scepter being dropped. Witnesses, think back to that incident once more. Did the golden statue fall over first or did the staff fall before it? Think carefully about what you have seen and heard. Everything hinges on your testimonies. May your words guide us to the truth and decide the fate of this cage. Also, why did the arm fall in the first place? Like, what caused that part of the arm to get chopped off? I was about to get ready to leave, but it seems there was need for further questioning. Testify once more, witnesses. Tell us of the golden statue and the Talia Magica. Witness testimony. Okay. The golden statue and the scepter. I was only focusing on the present, so I don't remember much else.
I don't know, I got there last. Besides, that thing was glitting and glittering away, so I couldn't see much else.
Bewitched by love or beloved by a witch, the poor cove knows not which is which. Can you please just say anything? No one told me anything. Whoa, wait a minute, what do you all say just now? It's totally different from your previous testimony. Sir Blue Knight, you are starting to notice it now, aren't you? That is the way of magic, such as the effect that this black art tends to have upon those who witness it. The witnesses are not lying, but simply having trouble remembering the truth. What? What a convenient excuse. Confronted with magic, their brains turn to mush, huh? Ever since all answers of strength from the fountains of wisdom and obtain the capacity for reason. Witchcraft has become the one thing to remain incomprehensible even to the most intelligent of us. Nevertheless, the onus is on us to stand up against magic and pass judgment on these witches. And so here we are, doing battle with the weapons of the wise, words. With words we shall pass judgment upon the supposed witch. Defender, you may begin your interrogation and help us arrive at the truth. I don't even know where to begin. Where would one begin? Only focusing the oppressor, so you're useless. Sides of thing. Okay, you got their last. Useless. You saw something. Can you tell me what you saw?
Hold it!
Would you mind translating your song into plain speech?
I shall play once more for just you, esteemed knight of the court. First of all, let's talk about love. It's a pretty neat slant rhyme for a cove. A cove is a slang for a chap, you see.
Right. Next we have the delightful consonants of beloved and bewitched. This is ultimately a song about confusion. I'm confused. To be honest, there's nothing more to it. It's merely an artistic expression of my feelings. No one has anything interesting to say. So it's not the case, does it? I'm a well of melodious words and poetic music is my only calm.
Ah! Oh, dearie me!
Wait, Luke? So, is this gonna be something or is this gonna be pointless too? Luke, would you like to say something?
Oh, sorry, guess I spaced out a bit. What is it, Mr. Wright?
You seem to be thinking pretty hard about something during Mr. Burley's song, testimony just now. Is there something you would like to share with us?
Well, I've been thinking about what Mr. Bonham said a while ago.
What was that exactly?
That humans who witness magic become confused and lose sight of what's real, and they end up not knowing what actually happened. Well, I was thinking Mr. Bonham might be right. And then it could be that there might be a way. I mean, we do have...
Oh my god, Even behind the witness stand, Luke just can't shut his mouth to let anybody else come up with a freaking idea. Seriously, seems I was gonna say, hey look, at least it's a nice callback to Turnabout Goodbyes, but good god, they're just incompetent in this game. There's just, oh.
I asked him earlier if he remembers the events clearly or not. He said he has memory better than an elephant and remembers everything perfectly well.
Ah, that's right. I almost forgot, Luke can talk to animals.
That's right, I know it sounds crazy, but please let me try. Let me ask Cracker to testify.
We do not need you, Luke. We've cross-examined parrots before. We have cross-examined parrots before. We know how to do this. We don't need your help. If we make a mistake now, it'll put me in a tight spot. It's not our first rodeo. Are you still with us? It's not, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I got it, thanks. I know. Just get to the part where we can cross-examine the parrot. That's your Cracker's testimony. Your Honor, the defense would like to summon a new witness. Oddly enough, the most normal thing that's happened in this game so far, cross-examining a parrot. It's a witness you all know by the name of Mr. Cracker. Mr. Cracker? I know of no man by that name.
Mr. Cracker!
The defense now summons its new witness, Mr. Cracker the Parrot. Parrot as a witness? Well, there is some precedent. Not in this universe, but there is precedent.
Objection!
This is the witch's court. Joking around will be considered contempt of court.
Objection!
Mr. Cracker witnessed the crime and he saw it happen and heard it too. He's as valid as a witness as the others.
Objection!
No. That bird is nothing but a pet animal. Referring to it as Mr. will not change that.
Objection!
Humans are confused by magic to the extent that they lose sight of what's real. That's what you said yourself, Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum.
Objection!
Calling me by my full name does not help justify such brash foolishness. The Inquisition is against interrogating a parrot.
I suppose you should know that my dear companion never forgets a sound he hears.
He remembers everything he hears, huh?
It's definitely worth asking Cracker to testify.
The court sees the situation as follows. The witnesses' testimonies do not hold together. In fact, they are as erratic as that bird's songs. I cannot see this trial getting any more confusing. Very well. The defense may summon the SS avian witness.
Can you believe it? What's up with the Mr. Blue suit? Someone a parrot as a witness? Summoning? Does he mean like you're not familiar with summoned?
By hook or by crook, I'll do whatever I can to save Maya. Be it summoning a parrot or a familiar, or whatever it takes. Within the boundaries of the law, of course. Back at it again. Cross-examining parrots.
Objection!
Not so fast, I hardly even know where to begin, but... First of all... What's the matter with that boy? He's looking so pleased with himself. He looks like the cat that got the cream.
Oh, that'd be me, wouldn't it? Don't mind me, just think of me as a perch cracker, that's all.
I guess what is the purpose of questioning a bird? A parrot may be able to repeat what others say, but it cannot talk on its own.
Objection!
It's precisely because Cracker doesn't talk in his own words that he's sent to tell us the truth. What? Cracker remembers every sound he hears, even just the ones with absolute perfection. So let's have him testify exactly what he heard. And if Cracker can repeat every sound, I'd say this should be a valuable testimony. I cannot believe this is happening. Believe it or not, it's not the strangest thing we've done in Ace Attorney. In fact, this is probably the most normal thing that you'll ever do in this game. A witness that cannot talk will not lie either. This idea is much to my liking. Well then, may our new witness Cracker testify to the court. We wish to know exactly what you heard from the beginning of the incident. Witness testimony. The golden statue and the scepter.
Objection!
Wait, Godor? Wait a minute, that's not the spell. The spell's name is Goldor. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Luke, I think we've found ourselves a contradiction. Why, those are the sounds of the incident, exactly as Cracker heard them. Ludicrous, evidently this is nothing but a farce after all. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? I must admit I found the parrot's testimony quite impressive, even if that bird can accurately recall the sounds. It is clearly useless when it comes to the order of events. No, but first the witch used magic to turn the victim into gold, and the witnesses arrived. It is reasonable to assume they cried out in terror. None of this matters. None of this matters. All that matters is that we found a contradiction. Followed by the door abruptly opening. And then a witness crying out. Next, we hear the victim having turned into gold falling down, so far so reasonable. But the real issue is as follows. The parrot seems to think that the witch cast a spell after the witnesses entered. Such a suggestion is inconceivable. Well, is there another spell called Godor? Because if that's the case, then we might be onto something here. We might be onto something here. The parrot's capacity for imitation is excellent. I will concede to this. And by the way, if there is another spell called Godor, then these people are terrible at their job. They spent so much time being like, oh, Phoenix Wright doesn't know magic. Yeah. Well, shouldn't you? How foolish could you be to not know the rules of all the magic? But apparently, if there is a spell called Godor, then you're not much better, pal, because you don't know all your spells either. Freaking hypocritical moron. However, this animal testimony cannot be allowed to stand as proof in this honorable court of law. Yeah, this honorable court of law where you burn people alive. How honorable of you. Do you crack off just like that? Do you now see how foolish you were? No, we're onto something here. We have found a contradiction. How could you not notice this? Of course, cross-examining here. How can you not notice this? The defense wishes to cross-examine the witness. This is like basic logic here. How could you possibly not notice this? A witness that cannot talk cannot lie either. The parrot's testimony is the naked truth. He simply is repeating the sound as he heard them. It's humans who make assumptions about the meaning of those sounds and arbitrarily decide whether the testimony is good or not. But as knights of the court, shouldn't we be striving to uncover the truth to which this parrot holds the key? The truth, you say? Very well, show us the truth that this bird purportedly knows. Interrogate that parrot, meanwhile I shall enjoy the show. Will you do, Mr. Wright? Do you think it's hopeless? Defender, you may interrogate the witness. With pleasure. Well, since the knight over there is hypocritical in how he's like, oh, you don't know your magic rules? Well, apparently you don't know them either, because if there is another spell called Godor, no, actually, whether or not there is, you still don't know what Goldor is. You clearly have no knowledge whatsoever of your own spells. Hypocritical shitbag.
Objection!
There is a critical contradiction in this testimony. We are all aware of that, Sir Blue Knight. This contradiction is between your so-called desire to find the truth and the fact that you are interrogating a parrot. That's not what I'm talking about, Inquisitor. There is a contradiction here that makes one thing particularly clear. The fact that we have clearly made a wrong assumption. How so? Luke, can you ask Cracker to repeat the incantation once more? Right you are! Godor! Squawk! Godor? Oh, now you hear it. According to the Grand Grimoire, the name of the gold transmutation spell is Goldor. Now, Inquisition, it would seem to me that the spell we've just heard is in fact a different one entirely. But I never... Unbelievable.
Objection!
This is ridiculous. That wretched bird must have misheard the incantation.
Objection!
Cracker is able to imitate sounds perfectly. The incantation was indeed misheard, but only by the people hearing it.
Objection!
The victim was found already in his golden state. That is proof enough that the golden spell was used. Okay, well, whether or not it was used isn't the problem here. We're talking about the spell that happened after the fact.
Objection!
But you're forgetting that Cracker heard this incantation after the spell had already taken place. Which makes it entirely possible that this Godor spell was used as well. In other words, another spell besides the gold transmutation magic must have also been used. Another spell that we haven't yet considered? Now, the next question that needs to be asked is, just what is this Godor spell?
Objection!
Utter foolishness is absurd. As convenient as it would be for you, there is no way that a spell by the name of Godor exists. Oh, buddy, if you're wrong about this, you will never hear the end of it. You will never hear the end of it, because you laid into us last time for not knowing what our magic is. So you better not be wrong about this, pal. Oh, Mr. Wright. Huh, what is it? I found it. Oh, well, would you look at that. The Knight Barnum, you, my friend, are the biggest hypocrite on planet Earth. Hey, remember when he was all like, oh, you don't know your magic? Well, that didn't age very well now, did it? Now, the question is, what does this spell do? It exists. What? You didn't know this either? How did none of you know? Wow, you are just insanely big hypocrites. On demand order. Just like I thought, Cracker remembered it exactly. But then, what kind of magic is this Godor? You don't know. Oh my god. Godor creates a portal. Creates a portal? What? That is insanely specific. Creates a portal on two sides of green-colored walls. Okay. Sure. Well, at least that explains the patch of paint we found behind that painting yesterday, and at least now we have a reason to bring Gene to the stand, so we can, like I said, he was suspicious earlier, so now we have a reason to call him to the stand. Creates a portal, and how did nobody see this portal? A portal spell. Okay, green-colored walls, specifically green-colored walls. Aren't you a lucky man? It appears even the Grand Grimoire is on your side. However, there was a fatal flaw in your explanation. Huh? What flaw is that, Inquisitor? It is really quite simple. Think back to how the alchemist study looked at the time of the incident. Yeah. Yes, no, I do. Right behind the painting. Behind the goddamn painting. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. You gotta be blind to not see this. In other words, it was impossible to use Godor without. No, it wasn't. I too have visited the alchemist study since the incident. I remember very well that all the walls in that room were all shade of white. Your little theory is interesting, Sir Knight in Blue, but it has proven to be nothing more than that, a mere wild guess. As long as you cannot prove that this Godor spell was used, your little theory— I can prove it, though! No, but I can prove it, though! In all honesty, I was very surprised to learn of— How would you not know? As long as it was impossible to review— No, but it was possible! Yes, I have proof! Just let me show it. I have proof. Yes, naturally I have proof. It's been on my mind for a while, that inexplicable mark. It has to be the evidence that ties up all the loose ends. The defense wishes to present evidence. Impossible. The determination in your eyes made me think you would. Now then, we shall allow the defense to present its evidence to the court. Present the proof that, fortunately, we have, in our court record, we have an evidence called Behind the Painting.
Take that!
Ain't that just wonderful? The walls in the study are coated with white plaster. Not all of them, though. There's just one spot, which is green. Oh, there is? I noticed it when investigating the crime scene. You may recall that there was a small painting behind the desk. And for some reason, the wall behind it was painted green. It was what? I recall seeing that painting myself, too, if we look at this floor plan. And I'll tell you what, that would explain how the staff got there. Because that's exactly where the portal would have been. That's exactly how that staff got there. That's right, I'll mark it on the floor plan. That is exactly. It's bothered me since we saw it, but now it's clear what it was. At the time of the incident, a portal opened up behind that painting. In other words, that was the wall utilized to spell Godor.
Objection!
You're certainly persistent. You just want a portal to be there so much, don't you? The wall behind the painting was green, and that's a fact. Incidentally, I remember that painting well. It was a small landscape piece. About the size of, say, an open Grand Grimoire. Yes, it was about the size indeed. A small global picture. Even if a portal had opened in that small patch of green, no person— No, that's not what I'm saying. The staff is what went— The scepter is what went through that portal. No, I didn't say that. No, I never said that. Those words never left my mouth. I never said that. I never once implied that. I said the staff. Have you anything to say, or are you so crushed by— No, I've made no mistake, you idiot! The portal was too small for a person, doesn't require much thinking to figure that. Wow, yikes, finally! Finally, Phineas get to throw the passive aggression back to somebody else for once in this goddamn game. But that aside, a very obvious question remains. If it wasn't a human, then what could have passed through the portal? You put an interesting spin on things. Why don't you answer your own question? You talk as if you know everything, so please enlighten. Oh, I talk as if I know everything. Okay, pal. That's funny coming from you. What went through the portal was, something else. No human could have passed through a portal that small. Even a witch couldn't have pulled that off. Heh, so you finally forsaking your mistaken assumptions? I haven't finished, Inquisitor. The fact remains that something else could have passed through that portal. Oh, and just what would that be, Sir Blue Knight? The portal was created after the presser had been turned into gold. The witch had a good reason behind that. She must have had to move something through that portal. You have captured my curiosity. I'd like to know what passed through the portal. Obviously the staff. Obviously the staff.
Take that!
Considering the state of the crime scene, there is just one possible answer. And that is the Talia Magica.
Objection!
What's this now? The Talia Magica was found at the crime scene. The portal has nothing to do with it.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, you're making the wrong assumption. Wrong assumption? The witch wasn't trying to remove evidence from the crime scene. She wanted to plant it. She threw the witch's scepter into the room through that portal.
Objection!
You and your crazy theories, you even realize what you're saying? If she threw the staff into that room, then it means... Exactly. She did it to deceive us. Her goal was to make us draw the wrong conclusions. When the incident took place, the witch herself wasn't in the room. She cast a spell from outside. What? Order, I say. And that's not all. There's even more proof that the staff was thrown into the room from the outside. What proof? That proof is none other than Professor Layton's previously severed right arm. Victim's arm does not prove anything. None of the witnesses have testified that they saw the witch's scepter, however. A few of them have claimed to have heard it rattling across the floor. That's right. Please take a look at this floor plan. Since the arm was standing up right here, we know the defendant couldn't have been the one who have dropped the scepter. Now think about it. Where would you need to drop the scepter from in order for it to end up here? Oh. That's right. The scepter could only have come from the small portal created by the spell Godor. This is most unexpected. The witch wasn't in the room when the crime occurred. Or at least that's the defense's claim. It's the only thing that explains all the contradictions we've run into.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, with that imagination of yours, you could aspire to write fantasy stories. A nice try, I must admit. However, this line of assertion is futile. There is a glaring contradiction in your words. Oh, and what might that be? Another contradiction, whatever you're referring to, Inquisitor Barnum. This is the Talia Magica that was used in this incident. As we have established, there are 2 magic gems in it. One for the gold transmutation spell, Goldor, and one for the Shadow Familiar spell. Okay, well then... Can you take... I need to know if the spells... If the gems are removable. If they're removable, then this contradiction goes away. A witch in possession of the staff would not have been able to cast Godor. And also... And if they can be removed, then it would be the purple gem that was removed. Because we know for sure that the gold spell was removed, but we don't know that the purple gem has been a red herring so far. Yes, you're absolutely right. But you can't write off all the evidence supporting my theory as mere coincidence. Why must your agreement always be followed by a but? What I'm getting at is, this Talia Magica is not genuine. Not genuine? That's right. And actually the one responsible for the deception is the real culprit of the crime. Enough of the suspense. It's too much for a man of my age. The defense shall reveal what is meant by the so-called deception. Well, I mean, we haven't seen this be used so far, so... It's probably that. First, I want to clarify one thing. Can we be certain that the Talia Magica was questioned is authentic? Without doubt. The metal rod in its center is called the Spina Magica. The witch's mark on the tip is clearly visible and highly detailed. It is possible to forge even by the finest craftsman in all Labyrinthia. I can guarantee you its authenticity. That leaves us with only one possibility. The forgery in question is the familiar magic gem. What? A forged magic gem?
Objection!
That is an insult to our investigators.
Objection!
Only witches can use the power of these magic gems, can't they? So tell me, how can you know whether a magic gem is a real thing or not?
Objection!
Hold it there. We know for certain that the spell Golda was used. It is undoubtedly not forged. But what about Familiar? Did anyone actually see a Familiar at the crime scene? That's 3 months ago when an investigation was carried out into Sir-produced death, the results yielded the following conclusion. Spell Familiar had been used to summon the Familiar, which in turn carried out the murder. And the witch used exactly that to her advantage. Another similar incident at the same crime scene. Don't you think that would be the perfect opportunity for the witch to frame the defendant for her crimes? The defendant would be blamed for both the professor and Sir Balduke's death, and she'd be taken for the real witch. That was the real culprit's objective. Speechless, I see. That's nothing new. There is a chapter in the Magic Archive, an old collection of tales of the occult, about the way to test whether or not a magic gem is genuine. How can we test it, my lord? It's very simple. A genuine magic gem is composed of a mineral with a density lower than that of pure water. All you need to do is see if the magic gem will float on water. That is simple indeed. All non-magical minerals in our world, with the exception of scipiolite and a few other special kinds, sink in water. These eerily sparkling magic gems, however, will never sink when put into water. So, now that we know that they can be removed, I have a question. How do you know that? How can you link the two crimes together if the staffs can be, if the gems can be swapped out for one another? Then you have no proof that the two are linked in any way. The staff can't be the. Defender, if your theory is correct, this could be the biggest occult crime in history. But another important question remains. I wonder if you can answer it. Who is the supposed real witch that threw the Talia Magica through the portal? The real witch. There's only one person that comes to mind. Frankly, I still find it hard to believe, but it's the only possibility. Once I indict her, there'll be no turning back. Knowing the consequences, should I give them her name? Mr. Wright, and labyrinthian witches are punished by fire. I know you think it's going too far, but even in a world that seems so insane to you, those who take the lives of others must be punished. That's universal law, isn't it? The witch turned the professor into a golden statue, and that's not all. She took the life of the alchemist too, and now she's trying to pin the whole thing on Maya. I can't just let her get away with that. Well then, defense, let us hear your theory. Who is the witch? That would be you.
Take that!
When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. There's only one logical possibility. It has to be that person. The real witch is Jean Greyo. Greyo, I've heard that name somewhere. But isn't that the butler who served Sir Balduke? That's correct.
Objection!
What's this about? You seem to love rolling out these ridiculous suggestions, but you ignore the obvious. Jean Greyo is male. Inquisitor Barnum, tell me one thing. Is it only females who can be witches? Are you daft? Of course it's only females. Never in the history of this court has there ever been a male witch. You're so utterly ignorant you should be ashamed of yourself. Alright, well, I'd like to ask another question. Is Jean Greyo really a male? What? What a ludicrous question. The defense is certain that Jean Greyo is the Here's That Pursuit music is the witch puzzle for using the magic of Professor Layton.
Objection!
Will you stop fooling around? This is a groundless accusation.
Objection!
Groundless, you say? I'm afraid that's where you're wrong. At the time of the crime, Jean Greyo was in the room next to the alchemist's study, and one of the walls in that very room was painted green. What's more, that green wall was the one adjacent to Sir Balduke's study. What? This is madness. Inquisitor Barnum, quickly have the butler summoned to the court. Have Jean Greyo brought here immediately. Certainly, my lord, it shall be done.
There is no need for that. I am here. I shall come down right away.
Ah, it's you.
Well then, Mr. Wright, shall we begin?
Yes, let's. Jean Greyo. It would seem this trial has turned in a new direction. I think we all need a bit of time to take it in. We shall take a brief intermission. Inquisition defense, sharpen your swords and wits to prepare yourself for the next stage of this battle. Yes, Your Honor. It shall be done, my lord. By the time we resume this examination into the magic gem should have ended as well. Now, the court is adjourned for a brief intermission. Okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. The moments with Luke were annoying, but for the most part, and also it kind of sucks that Maya isn't by our side, but overall, pretty good logic so far. Pretty good case. Alright, we'll see how it concludes tomorrow. That'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Goodbye.